Doctor, mail my form back. It's about to be on. My doctor, mail my form back. All my problems are gone. Slow your roll. Just because you got a form back from your doctor doesn't mean that your case is a slam dunk allowance. That's why in this video, I'm gonna break down the 8 wrong things to assume behind trying to get your doctor to complete an SSDI form. If you're ready for this, let's get it started. I'm gonna be completely real with you. Forms are great. They can be serious time savers in your SSDI claim. Not just for you, but also for your DDS examiner. Even better is when a doctor completes a form for you. But treating that form like Charlie's grandpa treated Charlie's golden ticket from Willy Wonka like it was his. And wasn't he all laid up in bed, couldn't even move, just laid out, and then as soon as he sees the ticket, he hops out the bed and he's dancing in the nightgown. I gotta go the ticket. Okay, I'll stop. A doctor completed form is not on its face a slam dunk for your case. Now, here are the 8 wrong beliefs you should have about your doctor completing your SSDI form. Wrong belief number 1, it guarantees me that I will be approved for SSDI benefits. Your doctor completing a form, even if it's a medical source statement or MSS, is not a slam dunk, no matter what your condition is. And like I always say, it doesn't matter what your doctor says. Your doctor can say all across town that you are disabled, but it doesn't matter. That is an opinion reserved for the Commissioner of Social Security. So regardless of whether you have a form or not that says you are disabled, it makes no difference to Social Security because they're using their rules, not yours and not your doctor's. Wrong belief number 2, the form will stand by itself. This is a huge one. People turn their forms in and say that this form is going to do it all. I don't need anything else. Now, in general, that is not true. There are a few exceptions, but in large part, a form standing by itself is not going to get you over the hump. I'll go as far as to say this. It is nearly worthless without evidence to support it. Now, as I said before, there are exceptions. One exception is what's called a mental disorders questionnaire form. It's a 4-page document that people would give to their psychiatrist or psychologist, and it would give a really healthy picture of the history, the current mental status, and their function. This is a very helpful form, but supporting evidence will make it even stronger. So there are situations where that MDQF may be enough, but in general, that still isn't enough. You still want to have supporting evidence like treating notes to back up what that form is talking about. Wrong belief number 3, any medical professional can complete this form. Oh, please, let me get into this. In general, you need to have what's called an acceptable medical source, or AMS, to complete a form that a doctor needs to complete. So a nurse practitioner or a chiropractor or a therapist who is not an MD or a PhD cannot be an acceptable medical source. This person has to have either an MD or a PhD behind their name. And the reason why is because if we're looking at having a medically determinable impairment, that has to be determined by a doctor. I will say this, that an MD or a PhD, depending upon the condition, can co-sign a form that a therapist or a chiropractor signs. But even then, you still need evidence to back that up. So just because an MD or PhD puts their signature on a form, there's no way to really know what's happening unless there's other evidence to really support that. Wrong belief number 4. Your doctor is supposed to fill it out for you. Your doctor doesn't have to do a thing for you. Doesn't have to do a thing for you. Your doctor is not obligated to fill out anything for you. Even though that is your doctor is not your servant. And even if your doctor says that they can't do it, their doctor is not working on your schedule. Your doctor would be filling that out as a request, but not as a demand. So you can't demand something from your doctor. You can request it, but that doesn't mean you're guaranteed to get it. Which leads me to number 5. Your doctor will complete the form for free. Look, doctors have a business to run. They are in business. If they're working for an HMO, that's one thing. But if they're in private practice, they're running that business. So they have a staff to pay. They have bills to keep up with. They have to maintain their equipment and supplies. So just be mindful of this. Your doctor actually might charge you to complete that form. It could be $20. It could be $50. It could be $100. It could be more than $100. I've seen doctors send bills for $200. And in those situations, a DDS examiner over a certain amount would have to get approval from their supervisor to honor that bill or that invoice the doctor sent. If the supervisor says we're not going to honor it, they're not going to pay it, that doctor's not going to send the information, and you'll be right back where you started from. Wrong belief number 6. Your doctor will fill it out correctly. Look, doctors are busy. And doctors don't always see every question. Maybe they're dealing with patients and they're filling out other kinds of paperwork. So they may not be that tuned into what the form is asking for. So your doctor might take shortcuts in completing it. So if your doctor takes shortcuts and doesn't complete the form properly, then that examiner may have to call the doctor to fill in the blanks, or they may have to just base it on what they have and try to run with it as far as they can. And in some cases, they may have to go back and get more information from that doctor because it may be critical information, or that might be a critical source for your case. I've even seen this. The doctor forgot to sign the form. Oh, that is not fun, because then it becomes this back and forth between the doctor's office and the examiner trying to get the signature and didn't get the sign it. Let's send it back and did he sign it yet? Or we don't know because the doctor's been busy. Just because you get a form doesn't mean that the doctor did what he or she was supposed to do in that form. Wrong belief number 7. Your doctor will fill it out right away. Like I said, the doctors have a business to run. So your form may not be high priority for them, and they may not be that aware of your claim for SSDI. They may not even be bothered by the fact that you have a claim for SSDI. So just because you bring in a form to their office, walking in off the street, doesn't really matter. If it's mailed in, who cares? The doctor is not going to operate based on your schedule. The doctor's going to operate based on his or her schedule. So unless you put the heat on them, you may not get that form back in a timely fashion. And you may not get that form mailed to the examiner in a timely fashion either. I'll say it again. You are not a higher priority for that doctor because you have an SSDI claim. You're going to have to put the heat on them and make sure that they know that this is a serious matter and it needs to be taken care of as soon as possible. And wrong belief number 8, and this is a big one, probably the biggest one. The MC will accept everything your doctor says on the form. The truth is, sometimes that form can actually backfire on you. Just like your doctor's not obligated to complete the form, the MC is not obligated to accept what your doctor says on the form. Let's take the example of the medical source statement, which looks just like an RFC that an MC would complete. Now that MSS is what your doctor says your limitations are, but the MC might not agree with those limitations because he or she is looking at your medical records too. And they're looking at more records than your one doctor is looking at. In some cases, the MC might disagree because another doctor might say something different than the doctor who completed the form, which says that you could have given your form to the wrong doctor to start with. One example of that is sending a form to a primary care physician. Your PCP is a generalist. They may be an internal medicine doctor or a family doctor, and that's all well and good. But if you're dealing with a specific impairment or a specific condition, a doctor that has a specialty in that area is going to have more weight than your PCP. But if you take your form to your PCP and the PCP completes your form, that PCP's MSS may not weigh very heavily than an opinion from, say, a neurosurgeon. So just be mindful of who is completing these forms, whether it's an MDQF, an MSS, whatever the case may be. If it's a form that you need to have completed, just be aware of what the examiner is looking for. They may tell you to send it to this particular doctor. So make sure you follow the instructions carefully to get the information that you need that's going to help your case. And that is the conclusion of the 8 wrong beliefs to have about your doctor filling out an SSDI form for your claim. Now don't go away. I've got more videos in store for you. Don't leave me hanging, because I'm going to see you on the other side.